It looks like we made it. It's 11:11. We have survived another night. I didn't quite get all this together and stuff. How you doing? Together? All your stuff together? No? That's alright. Let's do a little stretching anyway, shall we? To those of you who've sent me messages, thank you, and I will respond this afternoon. I'm getting better and better at setting my little self-care boundary of taking care of this situation for the first 3 to 5 hours of the day, however long I need. But usually afternoon I do the humaning thing, so I will be responding to that juncture sometime after. Meanwhile, let's do a little wacky wavy inflatable arm tube man. Wacky wavy inflatable arm tube man, come on. A couple heavy sighs, let go of some stress. I am feeling better. I've been on the healing track, getting more and more back on that track, and it feels good. I believe it's day 40 or 42. I can't remember. I've been writing it down, but part of what I deal with is this inflammation in the brain. It makes it hard to think and remember things, so I write things down, and that's a little bit like Groundhog Day. It's all right, though. It's a good life. It's a good day to be stuck in this life. I'm just being silly. Come on. If you can't be silly, what can you be? Serious. You can be serious, too. It's all right. How about you be serious and I'll be silly? Done and done. Sweet. All right. I'm going to take a breath or so to root myself into the center of the earth. Make sure not to lock my knees. Attach myself to the center of the sky. Loosen up the shoulders. Check the alignment. Let's do a little double chinning, as I like to call it. Check the ears over the shoulders. Shoulders over the hips. You can shake them around too while you're checking. Hips over the ankles. All right. Bottoms of feet into the earth. Top of the morning into the sky. I'm going to roll down nice and slow. Just listening to the spine along the way. Maybe enjoying a heavy sigh or two if I feel like it. I encourage you to do what feels good in your body. I'm going to come all the way down past the waist to the hips. And just hang here from the hips. Check in with the boot too. Letting go of the belly, letting go of the back. And then pushing from the bottoms of the feet, rolling back up. One vertebra at a time. Coming back to front and center. My front's this way, so at the moment. I'm going to do another forward fold, this time with a relatively flat back. Thank you for the love. Good to see you out there. Again, making sure not to lock the knees. And again, rooting into the center of the earth and the center of the sky. Bending the knees and folding from the hips with a relatively flat back. I'm going to swan dive down towards the ground. Bending the knees if need be to get the hands on the ground and just hanging out here in a forward fold for a breath or so, letting the spine unwind. Letting go of stress. I'm going to pull over to the left. Turn into a song and then back to the center, and over to the right, and back to center. And then pushing from the bottoms of the feet, bending the knees slightly, rolling back up, come back to center. I was just imagining how my life is really a musical on many levels. Yay! It's a good feeling. It's not all bad. I mean, it has its ups and downs. You know what I mean? No, I mean, I'm going to give myself a hug. On that note, bending from the waist this time. It's also called a spinal roll. I'm going to pull up in the pelvic floor, back in the abdomen, and left elbow over right. Tucking the chin in. And this time, bending from the waist, pulling the shoulder blades apart. I like to give myself a nice little squeeze in the shoulders of the arms. I got some ka-chunks, heavy ka-chunks going on in that shoulder. Just pushing into that roundness, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin. Taking a deep breath in and then releasing that toward the floor again. From the hips, below the waist. Relaxing the belly. I'm going to root those feet again and then bend the knees, swing the arms back. Coming into a counter stretch. Pushing the belly and hips forward, lifting the eyes and arms and chest. Just enjoying that for a breath or so. And then coming back to center. I'm going to give myself a hug with the other arm on top. Again, same thing, rounding the spine, pulling up in the pelvic floor, back in the abdomen, right arm over left. Again, pulling the shoulder blades apart, tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone. Just really enjoying that rounded sensation. Giving the arms and shoulders a little squeeze. Deep breath in and releasing all of that. Toward the floor. Bending from the hips again. I'm gonna roll on up. What are we doing, body? Sometimes we don't know till we get there, huh? I'm gonna come back to forward and step back with that left foot. Into a moderate lunge, pulling the hips onto the perpendicular line, pulling that back hip forward, forward hip back, checking that the knee isn't crunching past the front toes, adjusting accordingly. Feet are on relatively parallel line, relaxing the shoulders, pushing into that back heel. Looking for a nice long and strong line through the core. Let's give it a little tap check. Still got some tenderness in there. It's alright. Just dissipate some stagnation. Dislodge and then dissipate some stagnation. Shake that out. I'm going to start to eke that back foot back a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more for Santa Claus. Who gets that reference? Come on. Let me know. Nobody. Anyway, pushing back into that heel. Coming into a deeper and deeper lunge. Eventually coming off that heel and onto the back toe. Still trying to maintain a perpendicular line with these hips. Parallel lines with the feet. Relatively. Whatever feels stable. Coming into a deeper lunge. I'm going to bring both hands on either side of that front leg. And then straightening that leg. Pulling back with that front hip. And a nice forward fold over that front leg. Aiming my chin for my toes. Relaxing into that. I'm going to bring weight onto both hands and bring that front foot back to meet the back foot. Set that rolly thing back a little further and pushing through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, pushing into those heels. And then I'm going to swing the body forward, lifting the chest, keeping those legs together, maybe eking the feet back a little more, and lifting the eyes and chest, making sure not to sink in those shoulders, and just letting the belly sag and relax, getting a nice stretch through the front. I'm going to look over the left shoulder, adding a little stretch to the right side, and then back to center, and over the right shoulder, adding a stretch to the left, and back to center, and then lifting the hips, pushing back through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone to the back of the head, pressing into those heels, and swinging that left foot forward in between the hands into a nice deep lunge. Hang out there for a quick bounce or two. Hey Jordan, good to see you. I'm going to step forward with this back foot into a forward fold. Hanging here from the hips again. And then bending the knees, swinging the arms back, lifting the arms and chest, pushing forward with the hips. And coming back to center. Whoa. Don't forget to try out a few different sizes. That was a nice scary one, wasn't it? Also, keep up on your wacky, wavy, inflatable arm tube man impressions. Come on. I don't think you're doing them. All right, I'm stepping back with the other side, right leg, into a moderate lunge, pulling the hips again onto that perpendicular line, pushing into the heel, checking that the front knee isn't crunching past the front toes. Looking for that nice firm line through the core, supported with the abdomen and the spine. Giving those a little tap, tap, tap. Check in. There's another reference for you. Come on. 80s, anybody? No, just me? All right. I know you were there, Jordan. You might not remember, but I fucking remember. Well, I was the 90s, huh? We must have both lived through the 80s then. Just saying. Well, be careful, back a truck guy. I'm going to push into that back heel. Don't lose your phone. Pulling the hips onto the perpendicular line. I'm going to bring those arms up. Make sure not to crunch up in those shoulders. I'll bring these hands down for a little sharp focus, soft eyes. Sharp focus on the fingertips. And then soft eyes out at the imaginary horizon. Checking on my peripheral view. And then sharp focus back on the fingertips, still trying to not crunch up in the shoulders. Still pulling those hips onto the perpendicular line. Still pushing into that back heel. Sharp focus on the fingertips, and then soft eyes out at the horizon. I like to imagine I'm seeing all the way around the earth and around this way. See the back of my own head, around my heart. And then sharp focus again on the fingertips. And one more time. Soft eyes out at the horizon. And I'm going to slide that back foot out, staying on the heel as long as possible and eventually coming up onto the toe, keeping that on the parallel line, keeping these hips on the perpendicular line and coming down to put both hands on either side of that front leg. And then straightening that leg, still pulling those hips onto the perpendicular line. Draping the upper body over the lower body for a nice forward fold, aiming my chin for my toes. Maybe you have to plant my voice in your voice seed soil and then let it sprout later when you're moving about. Put weight onto the hands and bring this front foot, you know what I'm saying, back to meet the back foot. And push through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, and pushing into those heels. Bending the right knee, I'm going to push into the left heel a little more. And bending the left, pushing into the right. And again, pushing more into the left. And more into the right. One more time, into the left. And into the right. Pushing back into both heels, tipping the tailbone to the back of the head. And then I'm going to swing the upper body forward, keeping the legs together. Keeping the palms pressed into the center of the earth. And letting the belly just drop. Keeping the eyes and chest and shoulders lifted. Making sure not to sink in those shoulders. Keeping the legs together to protect the low back. Sometimes I like to rock on the toes a little bit. Shake up that stretch and just let the belly sag. It usually takes me a breath or two to let go in the belly. Get a nice stretch. And then lifting those hips, pushing back again through the palms, through the spine, into the heels. And then I'm going to swing that back foot forward in between the hands into a nice bouncing lunge. All right, I'll work on my phrasing and my tunes if I'm going to officially call it a musical. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I just won't then. I'm going to step forward with my back foot back into a forward fold. Hanging here from the hips, that's below the waist, or above the waist if you're hanging here. And then I'm going to roll up slowly, pushing from the bottoms of the feet or the center of the earth, tipping the tailbone first, coming on up and checking with the spine. Let's do a little Qigong breathing. I'm going to breathe in on the way up, and then circle up top and step into the left. Just let go, stepping back forward, breathing in, circling up top, and breathing to the right, circling, letting go of the past like it was yesterday. Over to the right and over to the left. I like to add a circle sometimes. See how that feels? Let's try it. Back to center. Getting some flow going. I'm on a stricter herbal regimen. I'm getting more serious about the healing part and getting out of my own way part. Happy to say I am feeling a little better today. That's all I can ask myself. I'm going to bring this left arm across the body. Speaking of better, checking in with these arms, these hard-working arms. I'm going to move this shoulder around, supporting that arm with the other arm, moving that side around, however is comfortable. I like to try out different things, see what feels better and worse. I got a lot of ka-chunks going on in this arm still. So try not to hurt myself. Just kind of stretch that out. Sometimes jiggling in the ka-chunk area is good. That's my official formal nationally certified body worker terminology there for you. Still working. But not getting paid. See the equation? Shake that off. I'm bringing this arm across the body. I didn't mean for that to sound like a complaint. I know it did, though, so it's okay. It is what it is. But really, I'm not complaining. I'm enjoying my freedom and my own wellness journey. Enjoying sharing some of it with you. Bringing this arm across the body and wiggling that shoulder around. That's active stretching. And then trying to make it more passive by using the other arm to stretch it. And then kind of combining the two, wiggling that around. Checking in with the range of motion, just encouraging stretch. Maybe giving that a little jiggle. It's tougher to do. One doesn't want to let go. It's a controlling arm here. It's called the controller. You got one too? Most of us do, in my experience. Shaking that out a bit more. Let's do some little circles in the hands. Start on the little bones. Some little circles, just listening. Sending some love to the fingers and the wrist bones. And then let's do some medium circles with the shoulders. I like to breathe in on the way up. Exhale on the way down. Let's go the other way. Shake that out a bit. Don't get lightheaded and pass out now. I'm talking to myself and to you. Let's do big circles with the arms. I like to still breathe in on the way up and maybe add a sigh on the way down with the big circles. Let's try a different size. Try them out. Come on. You have permission. Shake that out a bit. I'm going to go the other way. 3 more. Come on. Breathing in on the way up and just letting go of what no longer serves me. Breathing in whatever I want and need. Breathing out what I no longer need or want. Breathing in and out. Love and lightheartedness and resiliency. Shake it all about. Do some hokey pokey. Come on. You got it. Don't forget to get some on you. Lighten up a little. I'm out here doing the best I can with what I got and what I am. And I know you're doing the same, so together we can make things a little bit better. I like to add the sound effects, you know. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being you. I hope you're remembering to love yourself a little bit more. Thanks for letting me be me. Ciao for now.